I have been trying to make a Kelar 1-year update video for the past 2 months, and I'm finally doing it. I got Kelar out of his enclosure today. He was sleeping. It's middle of the day, so he should be sleeping, but I woke him up to be in the video. I have a few notes about him in general, and then also some things I've learned owning a boa for a year, and some things I'm looking forward to in the future. That's the plan anyway. So, Kelar was born according to the seller. I did buy him from a seller that was a third party and not the original breeder. He was sold to me as born June 10th, 2022. I purchased him through Morph Market September of that year. He was almost 5 months old when I picked him up on the full moon in October that year at Tinley Park. And he doesn't look super big right now, but he is 3 times the size he was when I bought him. He was 71 grams when I got him and about 16 inches long. He is now 218 or 220 grams and over 2.5 feet long. He was sold to me as a 66% het Khal albino with 66% het leopard, which, if that's correct, it's my understanding that the leopard gene comes from the Sonoran Desert boa, which are a dwarf locality, and then the 66% het Khal albino comes from the Colombian line of boas, which are boa imperator, so they're on the smaller side compared to a true red tail or boa constrictor. So they all are smaller in general. They grow also slower. Again, I'm just going off of what I was told by the seller, because he bought the entire litter of boas. He had like 20 or 30 siblings from the breeder, all in one lump group, because there were no visuals and they were looking for visuals. So it's just easier to sell them as a group to someone else who can deal with the selling to individual people. So he is so handsome and beautiful. I might be able to get this on camera. I have in the past. His tail, can you straighten it out for us, bud? His tail has the triple moon marking on it, the way his pattern is. Oh, it's actually exactly where he's curling his tail that you can't see it. I know, you're trying to hold on. Let me help you out. Can you let go of my finger for a second? No, you want it? Okay. So they are semi-arboreal. I do. Which means that they do climb, especially as youngsters. But even as adults, they will climb if they're given the opportunity. Hi, what's up there? Is there nothing? You're just staring? Yeah, looking for higher ground. So like I said, they like to climb. They eat in captivity anyways. He is on rats now. He actually just graduated to rat pup, so about like a 20 to 30 gram rat. He was on mice for the first like 9 months that I had him, I guess. Now, I will tell you, if you get a new snake and you have other snakes in your collection, or even just one snake, which is fine, it's good to quarantine your snakes. That means giving them 3 to 6 months, even a year, depending on the species and the health concerns you may have with them. You want to give them a long time in a separate room that is kept very clean, and you clean your hands and your clothing in between handlings to avoid spreading anything between your other reptiles or other pets. Boas in particular can have a disease that they can actually live with just fine, but if another snake gets it, they can die. So that's a little scary. And also, especially like wild caught, but even just other locations, getting a snake from another location, they can have mites, things like that you don't want to spread to the rest of your collection, which could take, months to get rid of the infestation. So, I feed him 8 to 12% of his body weight. With boas, you really actually go more off of the width of their body. They're very tall, like from the belly to their back. It's very high comparatively to the width of their back, just looking straight down. their dorsal side. Man, he is so shiny today. You probably can't tell in the video, maybe you can, but he is showing his iridescence so much. Hi, you're kind of squeezing my finger like right off of me. Can we chill? Let's see what else. Oh, he did weigh 100 grams at Christmas. I thought that was cute last year. He hit his 100 grams on Christmas Day. Here, you want to come down here for a second and we'll get your tail off of me. There we go. I actually bought him on a full moon. His first shed was on Halloween last year. And I think he went into shed, like his first blue was Friday the 13th. And then he shed like 2 weeks later. It took him that long to actually really shed. It can take them shorter or longer, just depends on their conditions. He is likely to stay between the 4 and 5 foot range. He shouldn't get too big, but because I don't truly know his parents' lineage, he could be anywhere from 3 feet to 6 feet, which is not helpful when planning for the future. I will probably have him, he's currently in a 3 foot by 1.5 by 1.5 dubia PVC. I'm gonna just move the camera for a second to show you. I have a 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot over there with Eli in it. Pardon the camera work. But Kelar, because he's going to be more active, he's going to be more arboreal and using lots of vertical space as well as horizontal space, he will be in I'm planning a 5 foot long by 3 foot high by 2 foot wide. Hoping that will be enough space for him. It should be. Why do you feel so thick, dude? He feels chunky. Like, he does feel a little bit thick. That should give him lots of space. If for some reason that's not big enough for him, then it would be a 6 foot by 4 foot by 2 foot, or a 6 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot, which I'd prefer not to go out that far. I prefer to keep it 2 feet wide. Also, as far as feeding snakes, I don't know if you know this. If you're watching this, you might know this already. But they need to have the right size of feeders, and they also need to have the right temperature to digest their food. So I'm really mesmerized by his rainbow iridescence right now. I was talking about not having a feeder be wider than their body. A lot of other snakes, like a ball python or something like that, they tell you to have a slight bulge, like just a little bit more, like 10, I think it's like 10% wider than their body or whatever. Boas don't do well with that, and a lot of times they'll regurgitate their food because it's too big for them, because they're a more slender body snake, and their body actually uses every single part of that feeder really, really well. They're very well adapted to not a lot of food around them, not a lot of resources, and very infrequently. So I actually feed him every 2 to 3 weeks at this point. He used to be every 2 weeks for sure, but I've been pushing it back a little bit, and they do really well. They actually add on length during that time of not digesting, because they're putting, think about it, if they're putting all their efforts into digesting their food, then they're not really spending that time growing actively. So, and he looks so small, but if I were to have a video from last year up in here, I don't know if I can splice that in. Probably not. I'm too lazy. Also, I'm not that tech savvy. But he's definitely bigger. Yeah, you're growing slowly but surely. He also has some spots, I don't know if I can show this on camera, that look like little hearts. There's one right there. I'm horrible at filming things like this, but you want to go check out the phone? What do you think? Okay, so there's the triple moon right there. That's the triple moon marking in my palm now. So his name Kelar comes from the book, The Hero and the Crown. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I listened to it on cassette tape as a child. Tells you how old I am. Well done. And the word Kelar in that book means magic or the gift, or the royal gift. And he is my little royal gift. He is magical to me. The fact that he has the triple moon on him, I think I found him. I can't remember. The Friday the 13th was this thing for some reason. I can't remember where it was. Maybe one of his shed cycles, probably. But his shedding, his everything, it's been on magical days, you know? So that's exciting. Yeah, you're so handsome. He is very personable, I should say this. So comparatively to having a ball python, I had a ball python for a year before I got Kelar, and now I have the ball python still. Eli's back there. You saw the earlier there. Hi. Ball pythons are much more the pet rock of just kind of sitting around, and then they might come out in the evening if they're really hungry. They're gonna come out and try to ambush something, you know. But with Kelar, I've noticed his enclosure is right next to my armchair that I'm in. If I'm home, I'm in it like 60 to 80% of the time that I'm home. It's basically where I live. And he is right next to me. And I've actually had to be sleeping out there for the past couple of weeks to months now, for health reasons. And he is like, you can hear him kind of going through his brush and like climbing around, and they're not super graceful. They kind of they misjudge distances and then they plop down. It kind of sounds like, or like that. Yeah, that's pretty closer to it. It doesn't hurt them. They're just doofs. Goofus. You know. And I actually now, like around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at nighttime, I am opening his enclosure door because he is right at the door, and he will peek out. He'll kind of look around. If I put my hand out, sometimes he'll go on my hand, or sometimes he'll avoid the hand and go back inside. Yeah. Hello, handsome. He also, I'm all over the place, I know. I had a plan, but now I don't. So he's much more personable. He's curious. He wants to be checking things out. I also just feel like his face is more, has more expression, and I understand that that's anthropomorphizing my snake, and that's whatever. Go fight in the comments, but don't, because I don't like that in my comments. And I also can track his eye movement more. Maybe that's part of why he seems more personable. Eli seems like his eyes just stay in one spot. They don't really move a whole lot. Like, you know, they're not swiveling to like look. But I feel like he really does swivel a lot. I've only been bit by one snake in my own collection. And it was him. And it was my fault. Because we were outside, his very first time outside, and I kind of wasn't thinking about where his head was. Basically I couldn't see his head. We were on the hammock. Yeah, we were on the hammock, and the way that my hand came down to redirect his head, it looked like a hawk or something, like coming to eat him. So I got bit. It was very quick. It didn't hurt too much. I think it was on my left pinky. You can't even see it now. They have extremely sharp teeth. And that's actually a good thing if they bite you, because they're not going to leave a scar. Whereas if something is dull and bites through you, it's kind of ripping your skin, at least at the microscopic level. And this was slicing right through cleanly. He also just did a quick bite and release of like, leave me alone. Don't do that, you know, just one time. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, bud. I didn't mean to scare you, you know. So I'd rather take a bite at this stage than full grown also. But also, when he's full grown, he's not going to be able to do much damage. In fact, if a snake bites you, especially smaller snakes, if they bite you, they're actually putting themselves at more risk because they can break their teeth off, especially if you jerk away. And then they can get mouth infections and they can starve to death from not being able to eat. So, trying to defend themselves, the best things that they can do, the very best thing is to get away from you. Hi, where do you want to go on the table? Okay, well, now you're out of the shot, so. I don't really take him out to explore a whole lot, and I really don't let him go, like, loose on things, because he could get stuck somewhere, and then I have to get him out. His brother Eli did that around Eli's birthday. I had him outside, and he got himself stuck in the chicken wire, and I had to go get cutters and cut the chicken wire to get him out. That was an ordeal. He was fine. I was not. I was very upset with my boy. Anyway. So yeah, that's Kelar. And I'm very looking forward to many, many years with him. If taken care of properly, they can live anywhere from 20 to 40 years. I think the longest known boa constrictor was like 43. And they were in a zoo, so they had top vet care, of course. But yeah, that's my boy, and I love him to death, and he's so cute and handsome. Let's get some close-ups. Ooh, what's that? What do you think? He's so handsome. He's so handsome. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave comments below and I will try to answer them. I don't always get notifications that people have commented, so if it takes a couple months for me to respond, it's not personal. It's just that YouTube didn't tell me that you commented. Sometimes it takes a year to tell me. I'm like, I posted that a long time ago, YouTube. Well done. Hi, handsome. It tickles so much. So much. Thanks for watching. Can you say thanks for watching? That will do. Okay, buddy. Thank you for helping with the video.